In the heart of the 20th century, amid a world scarred by wars, poverty, and social upheaval, one woman chose a path that would challenge every notion of power, fame, and influence. She carried no wealth, commanded no armies, yet her name would become a symbol of compassion, courage, and selfless service. She was Mother Teresa, born Agnes Gongsha Bojakshiu in 1910 in Skopje, a city then under the Ottoman Empire. From her earliest years, she exhibited a deep sense of empathy and spiritual calling, observing human suffering around her and sensing a life purpose that would soon take her far beyond her homeland. Raised in a devout Albanian Catholic family, Agnes was immersed in faith and the ethic of service. She experienced loss and hardship early in life, which strengthened her resilience and shaped her understanding of human vulnerability. At 18, she left home for Ireland, joining the Sisters of Loreto, where she received training in education, discipline, and spiritual devotion. Soon, she traveled to India, a land of stark contrasts, colonial legacies, vast inequalities, and cities teeming with extreme poverty. India's urban slums, disease, and destitution were overwhelming to many, yet for Mother Teresa, they became the ground for her life's work. For years, she taught at a convent school in Calcutta, living a simple life of prayer and devotion. But in 1946, during what she described as a call within a call, she felt a profound spiritual urging to leave the safety of the convent and devote herself entirely to the service of the poorest and most marginalized. She began walking the streets of Calcutta, seeking out the dying, the abandoned, and the unloved. She washed wounds, fed the hungry, and spoke to those who had been ignored by society, offering not just care, but human dignity. She quickly realized that compassion required action, that empathy alone was not enough to alleviate suffering. In 1950, she founded the Missionaries of Charity, starting with a single home in Calcutta to care for the dying. The organization's mission was radical in its simplicity: to serve the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the crippled, the blind, the lepers, all those people who feel unwanted, unloved, uncared for throughout society. This philosophy transformed ordinary acts, offering a meal, holding a hand, providing shelter, into profound expressions of humanity. The Missionaries of Charity would later expand globally, operating in more than 130 countries and providing healthcare, education, and support for the poorest populations. Mother Teresa's work was not limited to India. She traveled extensively, witnessing famines, epidemics, and humanitarian crises, including famine-stricken Ethiopia, war-torn regions in Southeast Asia, and refugee camps worldwide. Her travels brought her face to face with some of the most extreme suffering on the planet. She met with political leaders, presidents, and monarchs, advocating tirelessly for the most vulnerable. Yet she refused personal recognition, insisting that her work was for the poor, not for accolades. Her approach was marked by unwavering humility, yet it was not without controversy. Critics questioned the conditions in her facilities, her strict adherence to Catholic doctrine, and her reluctance to embrace modern medical practices. In some cases, some accused her of glorifying suffering. Despite these criticisms, no one could deny her influence or her dedication. She challenged the apathy of the world, forcing people to confront the lives of those they often ignored. Her methods were a testament to her belief that service was not a charity, but a moral imperative, and that every human life had intrinsic worth. Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, an acknowledgement of her global impact, but she used the platform to continue advocating for the poor rather than for herself. She remained in Calcutta, walking the streets, tending to the sick, and mentoring thousands who joined her mission. Her daily routine was austere, rising early, spending hours in prayer, and dedicating the rest of the day to the service of those in need. Her life became a study in the power of discipline, spiritual conviction, and relentless empathy. Her philosophy of service inspired millions. She famously said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." This principle resonated worldwide, demonstrating that ordinary actions performed with compassion can have extraordinary effects. She transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary, turning simple acts into lasting legacies of love and care. Her story shows that influence is not measured by power, wealth, or fame, but by the ability to change lives through consistent, devoted action. Even late in life, Mother Teresa continued to confront global crises, visiting refugee camps, hospitals, and conflict zones. She became a symbol of moral courage, persistence, and humility, showing that leadership and compassion can be as transformative as political power. When she died in 1997, she left behind not just an organization, but a movement, a global network committed to alleviating suffering and championing human dignity. She was beatified in 2003 and canonized as Saint Teresa of Calcutta in 2016, her life celebrated as one of the most remarkable examples of selfless devotion in history. Mother Teresa's legacy is a challenge to the modern world. She compels us to ask, how far are we willing to go to alleviate the suffering of another human being? How much of our own comfort and ambition are we willing to set aside to serve others? Her life is a vivid demonstration that courage, empathy, and compassion can ripple outward, transforming not just individuals, but entire communities. From the streets of Calcutta to the halls of the United Nations, from the slums to the corridors of global power, she proved that a single life, devoted entirely to love and service, can leave an indelible mark on the world in every hand she held, every child she comforted, and every act of kindness she inspired. She reminded humanity that hope and love are not abstract concepts. They are actions, choices, and commitments that have the power to change the world. Mother Teresa's story is more than history. It is a call to action. It is an invitation to see the invisible, to speak for the voiceless, and to act for those who cannot act for themselves. In a world often distracted by ambition, greed, and indifference, she remains a beacon of light, proof that ordinary individuals, through extraordinary love, can confront suffering, challenge apathy, and leave a legacy that transcends time, borders, and circumstance. Her life teaches us that service is not just an act, it is a philosophy, a discipline, and a force capable of moving hearts and reshaping the world itself.